Good bright morning, everybody. It's been a while since I've uploaded or gone live. Things have not been going that well lately. We'll see if others come. I sent the link to the video, last night or a lot earlier last night. Maybe it's better that I do it impromptu, I guess, and not prepare it so far in advance. But anyways, nonetheless, I will go on and this stream will be kept up. So anybody, Hearts Love, good morning. Thank you for coming. Oh, Hearts Love, I so appreciate you. Yes, Hearts Love is one of my mods and a friend to the channel. Great friend to the channel. And Hearts Love is more than just a mod. She's a friend. Something a lot of people don't get these days, right? So, yeah. Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a mishmash because I didn't organize anything. I did not pre-prepare a script. Then again, my lives are never pre-prepared scripts, so why should today be any different? So, yeah, it's true. This is the longest I've gone without uploading or doing anything on this channel. And I know the guys like Roberto Blake and Brian G. Johnson and Sean Cannell and all of them, they would say that this is a fatal flaw for your channel to not post at least once a week. And it's true. In my channel art, on my channel page, it says videos every week. Okay, I skipped a week without warning, and I apologize. But like I said, things have not been going all that well the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to talk a bit about that. This is not going to be a long live stream because after I planned this live stream, my crazy landlord, who I'm sure many of you heard the stories of from my ex-partner Sheldon, who has appeared in live streams with me. My crazy landlord stories. I've been a week without a freezer. Okay, the freezer crapped out. The fridge was sounding like a diesel engine for the longest time, like to the point it was so loud I had to close the kitchen door. And then the freezer part crapped out. The fridge part is still keeping things cold, but got to turn it up on full, you know. So finally, the landlord rang the doorbell last night and said, "I'm getting a new fridge today, finally." And it's either that or a tech is coming to replace the compressor. He never makes himself clear on these things. Either way, it looks like, oh yeah, say yeah. So the freezer is going to be, I'm not, like I said, he doesn't make himself clear. Either a tech is coming to replace the compressor on the fridge, or I'm getting a new fridge. But either way, he said he's supposed to come at about 8 o'clock, which means in landlord time, maybe 9 o'clock. But on the off chance that he is early or on time, I'm not going to stay on this. I'm not going to keep this stream for too much of a long time. I'm just going to gloss briefly through a few topics. If you want to hear or see more details or want me to talk about more details of what I talked about in this stream, please let me know in comments below and I'll see what I can do. So yeah, so that's the start. So after a week of no frozen food, damn, it would have been nice to have some vegan vanilla ice cream these days, since I'm not digesting much of anything these days, which is the next point I'm about to get to. I've been having health issues as of late. Yeah. It's fun. I've been having health issues as of late, and I'll get to that in a second. Anyways, the administrator got me in to see my doctor in a quick appointment. What had been happening was since the summer, I hadn't been perfect. I've been far from perfect over the summer. Been tired a lot, and usually people who know me know that I am a chronic insomniac who almost never sleeps. I take a little cat nap here and there, but I almost never sleep, and I do my best work at night when it comes to video editing or whatever. Guess we're not lucky. We don't get my best work ever, but lately everything has been tiring me out. Even going, walking, zipping 5 minutes to the pharmacy, just drains the hell out of me. And I've been having a lot of pains on my right side under the rib cage, radiating through my back, which makes, any position extremely, extremely uncomfortable. And I had it, and it started it all a couple of weeks ago. The pains, like, so bad, and there are times where actually literally digesting food is painful. Now, I have known for some time that my liver and my spleen are enlarged. So I thought, okay, it could contribute to pain, but not this bad, because I've had this problem for several years now. I have also dealt with liver cysts and a condition called NASH, which is basically non-alcoholic fatty liver syndrome. Yeah, liver disease runs in my family. You name it: NASH, cirrhosis of the liver, liver and pancreatic cancer. You name it. They run on both sides of my family, and not all of them were hard drinking alcoholics like my father was. So I guess I didn't escape it either. I do have aunts on my mother's side of the family who were complete teetotalers, but died very young of cirrhosis of the liver. So that's to tell you. I'm not saying I have it. I have something else, as I mentioned. But the pain has been really, really bad as of late. So to the point, I try to go out to run errands. It's freaking draining. And so anyways, yeah, like I said, the administrator, I had a requisition to get some blood tests for a while from my doctor, and I had those done around Halloween at the hospital. And I didn't get the results back until I saw my doctor yesterday. Most of the results were not terrible. A lot was manageable. The good news is I'm no longer in pre-diabetic range. My blood sugar levels are normal. So they're in the 5s, first time in a long time. So I guess that's positive, I suppose. But there was other disturbing news. He had asked me if on the day I went to have my blood drawn around Halloween, if I was suffering from some kind of virus or if I had some kind of infection. And it's like, I don't know. I don't remember. I can barely remember, where I put my glasses half the time these days. Joys of frontotemporal dementia, FTD. And my short-term memory is even crappier than it usually is, if that's even possible. And it's like, but I think I would remember feeling really bad on a particular day. So yeah, I mean, other than the fact that the fatigue and the pains that have been going on since the summer, I don't remember anything unusual on that morning around Halloween when I went to get the blood work done. So that's what I told my doctor. I don't know. So he said that my white blood cell count was elevated, which usually, yeah, it's a sign of infection happening somewhere. Yeah. So that was a bit disturbing. The last time I had an elevated white cell count was when I actually was rushed to the hospital about 5 years ago or so for a blood infection. And at that time, though, I do remember it because it was particularly traumatizing because I had lost all function. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. I was like highly nauseated. I wasn't really in pain, but my extremities were numb at the time. So I didn't feel any of this happening at this time. Obviously, I would have been somehow gotten to the hospital. So that was the last time I had an elevated white blood cell count, was when I had that infection. So it's kind of unsettling. I'm going to assume that the numbers this time that were taken at Halloween were not the same, were not like as bad as in 2014. I do 2014, 2015. Yeah. Because I do also remember at that time that the hospital needed to get my blood pressure up before they would let me go home. And because they were having difficulty getting my blood pressure to go back up. This time my blood pressure was okay. It was actually pretty good. It was on the low side of normal, but my heart rate was too high. But what else is new these days? I'm under too much stress and I'm too tired to do much of anything, right? So he is sending me back for another blood test for another white blood cell count. Which usually, I guess, with these things, I guess that's what you're supposed to do, send them back for another count. It'll be over a month since they drew blood last time. Maybe whatever I had then, I don't have now. I don't know. But yeah, plus there will be another blood test specifically focusing on more about liver and pancreas functioning. So I got to do that soon. I was going to do that later today, but then the landlord, like I said, the landlord kind of put a kibosh on things. To bring the new fridge up. Yeah. So, yeah. Leave it to my landlord to do fucking crazy shit, right? Like this on me. But the other thing is my doctor is now convinced I have that I likely have gallstones. And if that's the case, I'm going to need surgery. Which these days is done laparoscopic. It's minimally invasive. They don't crack you open for this. And the recovery time is shorter. But the problem is, of course, to confirm all this, I need an ultrasound. I'll likely need a scan, but we're starting with an ultrasound. And the problem is here in Quebec, we are Canada's capital of private for profit, although there are other provinces joining us in the race to the bottom on this one. So anyways, long story short, if I want a faster time to get an ultrasound, I need about $200. It's not going to be covered under the RAMQ, which is our Medicare system. If I'm to go under RAMQ, I'm not going to get it till February or March, but I will check with the hospital where I'm getting my blood test instead of that radiology clinic. See what can be done there. But of course, I don't have $200 lying around. They say plan for contingencies. They say plan for contingencies, but yeah. But best laid plans. So I got to figure out a way. So meanwhile, if I have to wait for an ultrasound until February, March, pain gets worse for me and I might need the surgery sooner. Oh, not a good thing at all. Oh, thank you, Heart's Love. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. There's also a PayPal link in the description box for anybody who is interested, but please don't feel pressured. I know it's holiday time and people are struggling. They want to, you get it. It's there. But yeah, so that's how it goes for me to get that's how it goes in La Belle Province. I think it's shitty, they let money gets you in front of the line instead of critical care. And was the original intent of one Mr. Tommy Douglas when he first brought Medicare into Canada in the province of Saskatchewan. The intent was that you passed by your condition, urgency, and not by the size of your wallet. And now we're starting to go it's the race to the bottom, when it comes to healthcare. Successive budget cuts. Yeah, I know I shouldn't be smoking. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So so it looks like I probably have a very bad gallbladder and I need an ultrasound. And it looks like, meanwhile, my doctor had told me that I should monitor my temperature regularly. And if I have a fever, that I am to go straight to the ER. Yeah, I figured. So I guess the ultrasound would be done on an emergency basis then, if I check into the ER. But I really don't want to do that. And yeah, I really don't want to do that because, I don't know, the ER for me is like it's more anxiety inducing. Too much noise, too much bad light, bad bright light, neon lighting. Too much noise. The smells of all the. It's. I would like to try to avoid it as much as possible, but be that as it may. Um. So, but that would be interesting too, assuming that I still have whatever infection that I had around Halloween when I had the last set of blood tests done. That with the elevated white cell count, I don't know how you're going to operate when I have this infection, wherever the heck it may be. Who knows? But like I said, I'm going back soon for another white cell count, so I don't know. Maybe it'll be back down to normal. I don't know. But yeah, and I'm alone to go through it. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? Yeah. So yeah. And yeah, the holiday blues. Dreading Christmas because I'm going to be alone this year. I used to spend the last few Christmases with someone who I thought was my best friend, but isn't. Not going to mention names. But suffice to say, I got hurt very badly recently. So I'm really on my own for the holidays. I am really and truly on my own. Oh, God, I'm not going to get into too much detail now. I was going to tell my sad story today, but like I said, I want to keep this live stream short because I've really got to prepare for the landlord, like emptying the food from the fridge. Yeah, it does. Yay, sarcasm. Yeah. Thanks, hearts. I appreciate it. This is the type of thing, with the latest of my health crisis that I would have processed with my former best friend. Can't do it now. In the past, I might have even asked him to, assuming I need surgery. I mean, that was day surgery. It's laparoscopic, but for me, because I react badly to most medications on the pharmaceutical, I guess the anesthetic is making me more nervous. I had only one operation before, and that was another day procedure, and I was awake through it. I was given a twilight drug. They call it a twilight drug because you're not supposed to, it's to make you kind of not move and not really remember much of what's happened in the procedure. They were also supposed to give me fentanyl for pain to go through that procedure, but they decided against it because there was concern about how I would react to the fentanyl. So I don't know how this would go, but back to what I was saying, this is something I would have all processed with them, that maybe even asked them to come, if I needed the surgery. But I'm on my own. I am on my own. And I'm on my own for this holiday season. And I'm not happy about that, to say the least. So it does suck. And lately I've been wondering, why do good people who do good deeds get punished over and over and over again? And why do people with bad behavior, very shallow behavior, mean girl clique type of behavior, why do they get rewarded? Why do good things happen to them? And people who try to help, like me, Why why do we get punished? And that's something I may explore in a future video. Oh, I had a second viewer. I guess I don't anymore. So now, yeah, I'm facing the holidays alone, which is even more dreading, and being pretty sick. And I don't know what it is that scares me more now. So 2019 hasn't been great. Two of the biggest losses that I hoped would never happen happened. Yeah, the world is effed up. I agree, Heart's Love. The world is effed up big time. People wonder why I don't believe, or I'm agnostic, and because I know, I know I have a lot of regular viewers who are Christians. I don't want to disrespect you, and this is not what that is about, but this is why I am agnostic. Because I see too many bad things happen to good people. Innocent children getting harmed. Innocent children being harmed. It's horrible. And, things like, good people getting harmed, good people getting hurt. The way society is today, like a woman's appearance is her currency. Her value, her worth is measured by her freaking appearance. I remember, the late Joan Rivers. What did she say? As much as I despise Joan Rivers, yes, I still despise her even in death. She said something like, a man does not go up a woman's dress for her library card. Yeah. So true. No truer words spoken today, right? So, yeah. So, I don't know. So, yeah, so I've got the holiday blues. I've got bad health, an elevated white cell count, pain and fatigue, and a lot of loss. Yeah. The two biggest losses that happened that I didn't want to happen, that I was feared would happen, did. So I have no idea how to process this. I will try to upload more, or at least go live more often. I probably am going to be doing more live streams more than anything else. And I'll tell you why, because right now I don't feel like fighting with my iMovie. I don't have the energy for it. I will try to do uploads, the voiceover videos, because I know most of you like those, have a preference for those highly produced voiceovers with the, the images and the B-roll and all that lovely stuff. I will try and do that every so often, but I think for the time being, it's mostly going to be live streams. Does this qualify as Vlogmas? Does this really qualify as Vlogmas? Yeah. Thanks, Hearts Love. I appreciate that. What I'm going to do, so yeah, it's going to be live streams more often. Does this qualify as Vlogmas? I was even thinking of doing another video making fun of mukbang culture, mukbang. But since it is painful for me to digest food on most days, I think that's pretty much out of the question. It's out of the question. Well, thank you, Hearts Love. It's not always easy, but it's not always easy. But these days, in my immediate environment, I don't really. Oh, hi, Amy. Good to see you. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. Now, where was I? Because I've been mixing this up. The crazy toupee-wearing landlord. and the saga that is my fridge. I swear to God, this is the combination of drama and history class. If I were to qualify this video, right? Yeah. So, yeah, so the loss of my best friend. Betrayal, which I won't get into right now. And yeah, I'm chain smoking on camera, which I know is frowned upon by YouTube. I also know it draws the frickin' trolls. But then, as what I've always said, this is not a stop smoking channel. I'm sure there are plenty of those out there on YouTube. Stop smoking channel. But yeah, I'm probably going to be telling the story of what happened and how life-altering that was, the loss of my best friend. No, he didn't die. But he hurt me. He hurt me badly. God. Sorry, I'm trying to get my head together. As far as the FTD is concerned, my short-term memory is like if it was shit before, it's shittier now. What it's like, basically, in a brief sentence, is I'm getting flashes of my long-term memory. Long-term memory playing like a movie in my head, you know. I can remember family Sunday dinners with grandma. I can remember what we had for dinner, although it was not that difficult to ascertain. Grandma pretty much only cooked 3 things on Sunday dinner: a roast ham, a roast beef, or a roast chicken. Those were the choices for Sunday dinner with grandma. So that's not that hard to remember. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. She was a great cook for what she did. It was old-fashioned, retro 50s style cooking. But she was good at what she did. And so anyway, Sunday dinner. I would remember Sunday dinners and my father and grandma arguing about politics or social issues of the day or what's happening in the community. They would argue about anything and everything, and heated arguments. And I can remember them verbatim, some of these arguments verbatim. I can remember what everybody was wearing pretty much that day. But ask me where I put my glasses or put my keys, or if I turned off the stove or not. That's a bit problematic. Or navigating a metro station where there's more than one train line. That's a bit problematic. And it's confusing. It's gotten to the point that I'm no longer going through routes that involve me navigating a metro station with more than one train line. I'm no longer doing that because it's getting too confusing and it just further drives my anxiety when I'm trying to get from point A to point B. So I don't do it anymore. So I have to figure out another way of getting from point A to point B if I have to. So, yeah. I want to stay living on my own for as long as I can. So that's all getting it's all been a wild ride, and not in a good way. It's like a roller coaster that doesn't function very well. Like the controls are not there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They keep asking when, this will all stop, when will it all stop? When will I stop being kicked? When will I stop being kicked in the ass? But I have noticed a change in recent, since I'm starting to develop a nasty streak. Because I discovered that I've been too nice. I let too many things slide. I let too many things slide. And I've been too nice. And I'm not going to do that anymore. because it has not served me well at all. You too, Amy? Sorry to hear. Yeah, you're right. It sucks when we don't have control, right? Absolutely right. It sucks when we don't have control. Uh-oh. What's going on with me? Oh, okay. What's going on? Hang on, let me check something. Okay. You know, I kind of like going on this quiet in the morning. You know, I kind of like going on this quiet in the morning. Whoa, shouldn't have turned the sound off. Shouldn't have turned the sound off. You know, it's funny. I've been watching some YouTube stuff, and I'm finding that in the grand scheme of things, I find a lot of the topics covered more and more petty in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Find them more and more petty. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, you know, it's like I can barely stay awake. Can't find a comfortable position. Can't really eat much of anything. And then all I'm watching and I'm seeing on my screen is, let's analyze life by Jen and her new boyfriend, Gene. Is he using her? In all honesty, I couldn't care less. If this poor girl was able to find some companionship, however imperfect, more power to her. That's what I say. Because it is harder, you know. You're older, you're overweight, you're not attractive. It's hard to find companionship. Try problematic, try impossible, you know? So, more power to her. And the usual, you know, the usual bull. Oh, will I still do reaction videos to problematic people? Oh, definitely, because I still believe in holding people to account. I really still believe in holding people to account. So yeah, I still believe in that. But you know, I find the stuff like really small, and the squabbles that you see on Twitter in the grand scheme of things, and it's like, wow, enough, you know. You know, and the usual, of course, the other branch of Twitter. I don't want to say this because a lot of these people are nice people who are very nice people who are also friends of this channel. But I'm just not into the drama over the cosmetics industry. And I see that on Twitter a lot, you know, and I'm just not into it in the grand scheme of things. And I'm going to do something radical. I'm going to say something really radical that's probably going to offend a lot of people. You're not going to have real feminism until we do away with the cosmetics industry. Yeah. Not going to have it. Till we do away with the cosmetics industry. I wouldn't be sad to see the cosmetics industry go. Probably I'm feeling free to say a lot of shit. And it's all on my mind, and it's all on the top of my mind lately. Because I feel like I got nothing left to lose. What is that Janis Joplin used to say? Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. Didn't. Now with my health taking a turn. And it's funny, my doctor and I didn't even get to talking about my liver and my spleen. My oversized liver and my oversized spleen. But, you know, he's just too worried that I need gallbladder surgery now. So I got to figure it out. There was a woman, I'm not going to mention her name, who did offer to pay to send me for the ultrasound to the private, but I really would prefer to avoid that. because this is a woman. I find that if she does something nice, there are very tight strings attached that I am not prepared to live by. I am not prepared to handle. I wouldn't say it's selling my soul to the devil, but it's some very strings attached. Because it's also a woman I like to hold to account, and I do hold her to account often. She doesn't like it. It's okay. Most people don't like to be held to account, I find. Hell, even I have a difficulty doing it, but I do accept it. I mean, I am now public on social media. I do talk a lot about my life on YouTube. So it's okay to not like being held to account, but it's the way one reacts to it. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, 200 Canadian, 200 Canadian if I'm to, which goes to the state of our healthcare system and the race to the bottom. Oh, Tommy Douglas would be turning in his grave. But anyway, so I'm going to see if there's going to be a way around it. Try to get a faster appointment. The radiology clinic wanted me to take a picture because I don't have a scanner, so I have to take a picture of the referral form. Who knows? Maybe if they see that my doctor thinks I have gallstones, I might pass through sooner. But all I know is like this, it's a vicious circle, You're not feeling particularly great emotionally, and you're sick at the same time. And you might be dealing with an infection you don't know where it's originating, which is an added stress. Like I said, maybe the infection is gone because, like I said, I'm being sent for another white blood cell count. Thank you. Thank you, Hearts Love. Oh, that's the YouTube link. So what to do, going forward, I am alone. Oh boy. So that's the sad update. That is the sad update. State of affairs of my world. That's okay, Hearts Love. Hey, I make these mistakes all the time, That's part of FTD. Part of being born with. And the other thing I want to talk about further in another video, when I have more time, is how when sometimes your happiest memories turn into the most painful and you want to forget them. That's the thing about FTD as well. You remember what you don't want to remember, and what you need and want to remember, you can't. You need or want to remember, you can't. You simply can't. And I'd like to briefly gloss upon, there was this younger woman, been a Facebook friend for some time. I never met her in person. And this is another example of how my nicety has been, my kindness had been taken advantage of. This is a girl who would post on Facebook on a regular basis that she wants to, how can I say this without YouTube frowning upon this? I don't know. She would talk constantly about self-harm and ending it all. God, you got to develop a whole new language for YouTube these days. She would talk about ending it all. She would talk about how sucky her life is. And that's fine. We do that on social media. I'm doing it right now on YouTube. That's fine. And there were a couple of times I reached out to her privately, saying like, you're not alone. I know what it's like to have no one to turn to, so I didn't wish it on her. So I told her to feel free to talk to me, and I had even invited her to come up and visit me if she needed a break from the people she was living with, which seemed to be a source of issues for her, which I'm not going to get into right now. But yeah, so she, and I told, so I told her, yeah, she was even welcome to come visit me if she needed a break. And I don't invite strangers that I just meet on social media usually to my home. It's because she knew somebody I knew well, who had vouched that she basically wouldn't rob me blind or try to kill the neighbors or something like that, Yeah, I know I'm being sarcastic. But anyway, so what she did recently was, of course, a betrayal to the sisterhood. And I feel hurt by that too, I reached out to her when her life was going shit, which is a lot of the time. And she turned around and stabbed me in the back. Or should I say, no, she stabbed me in the front. So I'm so that's another thing that I'm still smarting on. She stabbed me right in the front. And that's how we're all in the mess we're in. Oh, golly gee. Oh, golly gee. And the holiday blues, like I said, if there's one thing I can say that might be helpful to others this holiday season, and many of us with mental health issues, or even no mental health issues, maybe dealing with seasonal affective disorder, after winter solstice is coming. Days are getting shorter and shorter. It's freaking dark now at 4:00. So anyways, with the holidays coming up, for me personally, even going out and seeing Christmas decorations or hearing the Christmas music is become very triggering for me. So I try to avoid it as much as possible and, do my errands as fast as I can. Like yesterday, going to the doctor. Going to see my doctor. And then likely when I go to the hospital for my blood work, it's become triggering. So anyways, if there's any message I can convey, okay, copying and pasting and plastering suicide hotline numbers is not going to cut it. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, I don't feel it's sincere. I feel it's passing the buck. Because more times than not, what people like that need who are alone during the holidays, they want actual company. They want somebody to spend time with them. Do you know for how long I wanted a family-style Christmas? It's not going to happen in my own family, obviously. That pretty much stopped when Grandma passed away, but it stopped even more this year. But anyways, and the last couple of Christmases, it came close with my former best friend. Came close. I was hoping to do it again this year, but that's not to happen. And even if the situation didn't happen, now with my health situation, I can't travel. Traveling would be a problem, especially if I need surgery, and I could need it anytime. As my doctor said, I would go to the ER if things get worse, or if I have a temperature that persists over 24 hours. So anyways, so if there's any takeaway, do more than copy and paste suicide hotline numbers. And the other thing is, and Eric of Driven Industries did the test on camera when he called the American National Suicide Hotline. The line is busy all the time, and you're listening to a recorded message. And if somebody wants to harm themselves, or, they're not going to sit on hold, We just want to be part of things. We don't want to be left out. And then I've had those suggest, well, why don't you go help at a soup kitchen? Well, with my health the way it is, I can't. That's number one. And number two, yes, it's admirable and all that. But I also feel when people dismiss me like that, it's kind of like goes back to that old fairy tale that we as little girls all heard. And that is Cinderella, you know? You know how Cinderella had to do all the cleaning and helping her stepsisters go to the ball? That's how that feels, you know, when people say, why don't you go volunteer at a soup kitchen? That's how it feels. You know, I don't like being left out. It's amazing how left out I do feel. 20 years, 20 years off the drugs. Would you believe that I'm struggling with it now? I'm struggling with it now. No, I have not relapsed into my addiction. But I'm struggling now. You know, to take a break from reality. Yeah. Take a break from reality. You know, you get the idea. So, yeah, 20 years. And I'm struggling now. I am struggling now. My past, everything. Oh, God. I'm turning into an emotional basket case. And this was the thing I was trying to avoid. I was trying not to. I was trying not to, but I am. I am. So, but I'm kind of glad, even though this live stream has turned into a mess, that I will have to cut short. It's turned into a mess. I will probably do more lives describing more in detail about the other things I mentioned, because the only thing I keep coming back to is my health, my current health situation, and facing those challenges alone. Thank you, Hearts Love. I appreciate it. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Oh, yes, I am going to leave up the live stream as I leave up every other live stream. So you can tune in when you want. People leave early. I realize people have to go to work. I don't. It's not to rub other people's face into my retirement, and I don't do that, or I try not to. At least I don't do it purposely. But I do find people who condemn me for being retired at my age are highly judgmental. You know, I mean, just the FTD alone is enough for my retirement, right? It's just enough for the retirement, you know. Don't know my situation or they don't understand it, you know. I wish I could hold down a job. I wish I could, but I can't. I was hoping that YouTube would become my job, but let's be real, that's not going to happen. So I just do it, you know, and tell my stories or to talk about social issues, talk about whatever's on my mind while I can still remember it. Because eventually there will become a time where I won't. Oops, excuse me. Yeah, exactly, Hearts Love. Exactly. Yeah. It is no one's business. It is no one's business why I'm retired, you know? And here's the thing, you know, it's not even their tax dollars that are keeping me paying my bills, you know? I paid into a group insurance program with my previous union. I was a public servant for the province of Quebec. I worked for a youth protection agency as a secretary. I was proud to do that work. I was proud to assist a team of very devoted social workers, a lot of experts in the field, of child neglect, child abuse. Yeah, I can't mention that word either on YouTube, apparently. Like I said, got to develop a whole new vocabulary. So I worked with, I worked with experts in human trafficking, people, social workers, psychologists who testify in court as experts. And I was proud. Talk about fall from grace, right? Talk about fall from grace. It was my life. That job was my life. It was what defined me. And that is the sad thing about North American culture. We're defined, men more so than women, we're defined by what we do for a living. Men more so, though, I find, because, they say it's men, it's socioeconomic status. With women, it's their appearance. But yeah, I was defined by that job. That was the job I did. And I was proud to do it. Derek Williams. Yeah, I've heard of Derek Williams. I should check his channel out one day. I've heard of him. He does a recovery channel too, huh? Addiction recovery channel, Derek? Yeah. Yeah, I gotta check his channel out. I may even do that today once the new fridge or the new compressor. Like I said, my landlord is never clear when he talks. Yeah, I gotta check that out. If you have the link to that, Hearts Love, if you can post it in the chat, if you do, that would be great. If you don't, that's okay too. I'll find it. Oh, thank you. Oh, he's not an addiction recovery channel? Okay, I thought he was. I thought he was an addiction, kind of like Derek Lambert or CG Kid. Yeah, that's what I thought he was, more like along those lines of Derek Lambert or CG Kid. Addiction recovery channels. He's an ally. We need allies. I was just talking about this theme. We need allies. I need an ally now. I need a freaking ally now. Oh, I know you're all my allies. I mean, one in my immediate environment. Yeah. You know what I'm most worried about? Yeah. Yeah, I gotta check his channel out. But yeah, being defined, and I felt lost losing that. Thank you, Hearts Love. So that would be the link to Derek Williams' channel, and I think we can find that video that she was talking about how we're defined by what we do for a living, right? Do you know sometimes the pain is so bad it's hard to breathe? Even breathing hurts. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Cool, Hearts Love. I'm definitely going to have to check him out. And before checking out that channel, because Hearts Love here endorses it, I will endorse it too. It was a couple of weeks ago, so it was fairly recent, huh? Okay. I'll check it out. Because I think it's an important topic, and maybe I'll cover this topic as well in an upload, kind of upload. That is, if I can get my frickin' iMovie to cooperate with me. Yeah, if I can get the damn thing to cooperate with me. That's key. Get it to cooperate. Yeah. 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 Who knows? Oh, God, cat got my keyboard. Cat got my tongue again. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to cut this live stream short because I really don't know what to talk about anymore. There are subjects, there are themes I touched upon. But anyways, I will leave with you with this again, and I will repeat. This holiday season, please do more than just copy and paste the national suicide hotlines on your social media pages. Please make an effort. I know with the stress, you've got family engagements and gifts to shop for, but you know what? You're the lucky ones. Even though if you don't get along with those family members and you argue politics and social issues and smaller details like who's going to wash the dishes or fight over who has the best gravy recipe, you are the lucky ones. Trust me. Take it from somebody who doesn't. Take it from somebody who doesn't. Yeah. So please try to make time this Christmas season for somebody who is vulnerable, for somebody who is at risk. If somebody, most people who are wishing to self-harm are not going to reach out for help themselves. A lot of them might feel like a burden. Check in on them anyway, because those are the people that are most vulnerable. And they're probably they may not show it at first or anyway, but they will appreciate it. I can speak for myself. I would appreciate it. If somebody is reaching out to you for help, or you see someone reaching out on social media, pouring their heart out, reach out to them. Try to spend some time with them. Spend a few hours, have a meal with them. I mean, we should be doing that every day of the year, but it is particularly difficult during the Christmas season. Same thing for New Year's Eve, everybody wants somebody to hug at midnight. Everybody wants somebody to hug and hold and maybe kiss at midnight. But we'll settle for, somebody to spend time to ring in the new year. So like I said, try to spend a few hours, check in on them. It is very important, and it could make all the difference in the world. Please, if you do support, mental health awareness, addiction recovery, or those who are chronically ill or disabled and who find themselves alone, anybody who finds themselves alone, because loneliness is now a public health issue. There are plenty of studies and articles on that. So please try to spend time with them. Try to be good to each other. And try to give up the habit of being freaking shallow. To those of you who are not in my community who are viewing this, please, the shallow behavior, put an end to it. Try, we all need to be real. So please, like I said, do more than put up a national suicide hotline. I already told you why, because people are put on hold. You rarely get a human being right away, especially during the holiday season. And secondly, we need people. And I did a video on this for the love of everything, on everything that is. Do not sick the cops on them for a wellness check unless they're a danger to other people, of course. So like I said, I'm going to do more, if I feel like I'm going to do more detailed videos about what happened recently, the recent fallouts and all that. I will keep you up to date about my health and maybe talk more about, hey, maybe this is Vlogmas. This is a Vlogmas video. Who the hell knows? So yeah, like I said, I'll keep you up to date with my health. And we'll see if we can get my white cell count down. And yeah, and that's about it for now. And like I said, that's about it for now. Have yourselves a great day. Those of you who are off to work in the cold, please dress warmly, mind how you go, drive safely, all that lovely stuff. Don't drink and drive. Please, we don't drink and drive. And please be good to each other and reach out to somebody who is alone. And that's going to do it for this live stream for right now. I love you all. Straight Talkin' Fedora, check over and out. Thank you so much, Hearts Love and Amy and everybody else who stopped by. And catch you all in the next one, which hopefully will be in a few days if I have the energy going forward. Bye for now.